What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a very interesting and very exciting Liverpool related football news video where we will talk about the fact that Chelsea and Manchester City have been warned by the Premier League Commission that they could be kicked out of the Premier League over the financial fair play rule breaches that Man City are facing. Chelsea are yet to be charged, but there have been fears that Chelsea could soon be punished after spending £1 billion since being taken over just less than 2 years ago, and Man City are awaiting the outcome of the 115 charges that was brought against them by the Premier League at the start of 2023, and the trial date was set by the Premier League, but it hasn't been officially confirmed, it hasn't been revealed by the Premier League, but it is expected the trial to start in August. And various English newspapers have revealed that a warning from three men in the Premier League Commission who punished Everton and Nottingham Forest already over the profit and sustainability rule breaches that they committed. So this Premier League panel or commission, three people from the commission have highlighted a warning that could spell trouble for Man City and Chelsea. Robert Clancy, Mark Howell and Steve Holt wrote how unlimited sanctions ranged from a warning through to expulsion from the Premier League. If you want to keep up to date with this case, make sure to subscribe if you're new around here, and make sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. And also shout out to my Irish viewers. I love Ireland. I'm from Hungary, but I've been to Dublin and to Northern Ireland. So a profit and sustainability rule breach which Nottingham Forest and Everton committed, those are minor punishments. The 4 and 6 points that Nottingham Forest and Everton got, those are minor punishments compared to what Man City are going to get, because if the breach is properly described as major, then it may be the case that even a very severe sanction such as kicking the club out of the Premier League is more appropriate. So this is the first time that we are hearing about this in somewhat on an official level, that the Premier League might kick Manchester City out of the league altogether, and they might get relegated to the Championship or even a lower division, even to non-league football, if they are found guilty. And surely the 115 charges, surely some of them will stick to Man City and some of them they will be found guilty of, because I cannot see a scenario where Man City are innocent in all 115 charges. Of course, it remains to be seen how long this case will drag out. Hopefully it will be wrapped up very quickly. A verdict will be expected in 2025, so next year, but then Man City will surely appeal, and I don't want this to drag on for 3, 4, 5 years, because that serves nobody right. There is a huge cloud hanging over the Premier League since Man City broke all these rules allegedly, and since they have been charged with 115 charges of breaking financial fair play rules, because there is a huge elephant in the room, as Ian Wright said on Monday Night Football very recently. Until these charges are not cleared and until Man City are not punished properly, there will be always a cloud hanging over the head of Man City and of the whole Premier League. You have to question the integrity of the whole Premier League. For the last 10 years that Man City cheated and broke all kinds of financial fair play rules. They used financial doping to get to the top of the English and European football, and surely they must be punished very severely. So the Premier League CEO Richard Masters reiterated that the trial date was set in January, but he did not reveal when it would take place. And I don't like this, that the Premier League is so secretive about it, because the journalists should be sitting in on their trial and publishing the stories that are emerging. But the Premier League have to be, of course, very careful about their image. Man City and Chelsea are two of the biggest clubs in the Premier League, which generate huge amounts of revenue for the Premier League itself, these clubs. And the Premier League don't want, of course, to harm the brand, harm the image. But surely they harm the image or they harm the brand of the Premier League more if they just let cheating clubs like Man City go without punishment. And if that means you need to kick out Man City because they cheated their way to the top, then so be it. Because if you don't punish Man City properly, what does it say to Newcastle? Newcastle might just spend £1 billion in a year like Chelsea, but if they spend it smartly or wisely, they could keep spending £1 billion almost every year for the next 10 years and become an unstoppable club. Because if you are not punishing Man City properly, that will signal to Newcastle and to Saudi Arabia, then you can get away with anything and everything in the Premier League. And what is very significant is that Man City is 115 charges, breaching 115 regulations. They are accused of these charges over 14 seasons. So 14 seasons in the Premier League is in question. The legitimacy, the integrity of the whole league, the whole competition is in question. And because my favorite club, Liverpool, was directly impacted by Man City winning titles ahead of Liverpool, I'm especially interested in this case and I will be following this closely. So Chelsea are not yet charged over breaching financial fair play rules or the profit and sustainability rules, and they have slightly spread the cost of the players by using amortization to sign players up to 8-year contracts in the case of Mudryk and Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. That's what they have done. But the report in the Telegraph newspaper said or claimed that Chelsea must raise roughly £100 million in sales before the end of June to avoid being penalized. So they have to sell a lot of their players, or at least 3 or 4 really, really good players, to raise £100 million. And you know how close Chelsea are to being punished and breaking these profit and sustainability rules, that they can't even sack Mauricio Pochettino because that would cost them an additional £10 million, and they can't afford to do that because then they would be going over the limit and they will be punished by points deduction. But you know what? Chelsea probably this season are not qualifying for Europe through their league position, so maybe they can get a few points deducted. It wouldn't matter to them too much, but they can still qualify for Europe if they win the FA Cup. Chelsea will play Man City in the FA Cup semi-finals. And the Telegraph is also reporting that last summer it was flagged up that there was financial misconduct committed during the Roman Abramovich era, which saw payments made to agents from accounts that did not go through Chelsea's official books, Chelsea's official accounts. And Chelsea's latest accounts showed that £150 million was set aside when Todd Bowley and his consortium brought the club to cover potential legal costs, because Chelsea are aware that they broke the rules back in the day under the Roman Abramovich era, so they set aside 150 million. Imagine that, 150 million just to cover the legal costs, just to pay lawyers and everything. Wow. So the commission that deducted Nottingham Forest 4 points, they have written a 52-page essay about their reasons on why Nottingham Forest are getting punished. Robert Glancy, a sports law specialist, Mark Howell, and the accountancy expert Steve Holt explain why they came to this judgment. And Chelsea and Man City have been told in this essay by this commission, Premier League Commission, that they could face the ultimate punishment, getting kicked out, being excluded from the Premier League. And I see a vote on this newspaper's website that 56% of the people voting think that Chelsea and Man City bring in too much money, so they won't get punished. Well, if that's the case, then the Premier League's integrity is gone. So what do you think Man City's punishment will be once a verdict is reached, probably in 2025? Let me know in the comments below. And what should be Man City's punishment? What is the right punishment? I think relegated to non-league football, stripped of all their titles and trophies that they won by financial cheating, by financial doping, is the right outcome. But whether the Premier League will punish Man City or not remains to be seen, but I remain hopeful until the verdict is reached that the proper punishment will be reached. And Kieran Gill, an English journalist, is reporting that the Premier League clubs are absolutely baffled and shocked by refereeing reports that they are receiving, and they are accusing referees of being totally devoid of consistency, because clubs are being emailed each week about refereeing mistakes, and basically in these reports by referees emailed to clubs, the clubs are told that VAR was right not to intervene even if a referee was wrong. Point in case, the Liverpool Man City game, in the 98th minute, Doku kicks McAllister in the chest. Every single pundit, every single fan who is not supporting Man City said it's a stonewall penalty, it's clear as day. Doku doesn't get the ball, but even if he slightly gets the ball and touches the ball, you can't kick another player in the chest this high and it not being a foul. The referee doesn't give it, and because the referee doesn't give it, VAR thinks it's not a clear and obvious error. By the way, that's a load of nonsense, and Howard Webb explained that if the referee would have given the penalty, then VAR wouldn't have intervened. So that means that the correct decision was penalty. So then why does Howard Webb say that the VAR was right not to intervene? Because it's a coming together, as they say, but it's not, because McAllister gets to the ball first. McAllister gets to the ball, controls the ball with his chest, and then Doku hits him, kicks him, studs up. I mean, you could even argue that it could be a red card, but at least it's a yellow card and a penalty to Liverpool, and that could change the whole title race. That one decision could help Man City win the title, and this is why I've been saying that the Premier League is corrupt, the Premier League referees are corrupt, because how can Howard Webb come out and say with a straight face that the referee was right not to give a penalty? It's absolutely scandalous, honestly. The biggest problem is that there is a very high threshold which VARs are told must be met in order to justify an intervention, as the Premier League and the PGMOL are afraid that they do not want the games to be re-refereed from Stockliffe Park. But surely if the replays show that the referee made the wrong decision, you have to intervene. You cannot just say it's not a clear and obvious error. And the Premier League club has told the journalist, it's puzzling for us. We are told, yes, the referee was wrong, he should have awarded you that penalty, but then no, the VAR was right not to tell the referee he had made a mistake, because it's not a clear and obvious error. So if the referee was wrong and he should have awarded a penalty, how can VAR be right not to intervene when the referee didn't award a penalty? Apparently this is because of a high bar for intervention, but surely if the referee was wrong, then the VAR should correct him. Period. The Premier League is now pure chaos, totally devoid of consistency. We never know when we will or won't get a decision for us or against us. And this is a Premier League club telling the journalist this. This is not me saying this. This is not my opinion. A Premier League club is saying that the referees are totally inconsistent. And you can see it. Any club you support, you are on the wrong end of awful decisions, huge refereeing mistakes. Basically, referees are deciding games on their own by making these mistakes, and sometimes weeks, months worth of hard work goes up in the air because the referee is making a huge mistake and the VAR is not intervening because of this high bar of a clear and obvious error. Absolute load of nonsense. The Premier League referees are not fit to referee the Premier League because they are so much worse than one of the best leagues in the world should be striving for the best referees in the world, and they are not English referees, because the English referees, I'm sorry, they are just not good enough. They are awful. So you should bring in referees from foreign countries who have better understanding of the game, and also VAR not intervening in these like clear and obvious cases is absolutely ludicrous, and it smells corruption. That's my opinion, but you are free to disagree with me in the comments below. No wonder the Premier League referees haven't apologized to Man City once for making an error that hurt Man City. So how come every club is being hurt by refereeing decisions except Manchester City. Isn't that suspicious to you guys? Because it's very suspicious to me. And I will end the video there. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.